SCP-3018 Friends and the Tale of Well-Intentioned Understudies. SCP-3018 is a safe class anomaly. The story is about a species of wood-boring beetles that just go around their business and never harm people unless provoked. Let's take a look. SCP-3018 occupies a small section of forest in Massif Central, which is a highland area in south-central France. This section is surrounded by a fence to prevent the public from entering and is disguised as a nature conservatory. Ultrasound emitters releasing frequencies between 38 and 44 kHz are placed on the fence to keep the beetles in the area, as these frequencies are known to repel insects. The emitters should be checked every 4 days and replaced if needed. Instances of SCP-3018 seem to be social and travel in swarms, occupying one tree at a time. Instead of boring through the tree as normal beetles do, they carve intricate patterns onto the trunk of the tree. The patterns resemble Celtic knots and have no anomalous properties. Instances of 3018 may adorn their carvings with fresh flowers and leaves, preferring martagon lilies, lazuli naval, and calamint with large flowers. They will replace wilting flowers and dead leaves when needed. They will also adorn animals or people who lay next to the trees with the same flowers and leaves, but will be hostile to beings that intend to harm the carved trees. Site 31 employees may apply, via a form given to personnel of clearance 3-301 or higher, to spend a night within the containment zone, as it is known to greatly improve morale. In addition to their normal life cycle, which is carving by day and entering torpor by night, SCP-3018 participate in multiple annual events, designated Alban events. These are allowed to take place because they are deemed harmless. The reason of these events is unknown. Alban A takes place on December 21st and 22nd. All instances of SCP-3018 will meet at a seemingly random point within the forest. One swarm will bring a collection of between 5 and 10 sticks. As soon as all instances are gathered, a small swarm will emerge from the crowd to dance, fly up and fall repeatedly above the sticks. Other instances circle the sticks. The dancing swarm will switch with SCP-3018 instances in the crowd at regular intervals, so that eventually all instances will have danced at least once. This event starts at sunset about 5 o'clock and lasts until dawn about 8:45. Alban B takes place on March 21st. Instances of SCP-3018 will search for pine cones from Scots pine trees. Swarms will accumulate around the pine cones and dig the ground out from under them. Once a pine cone is in a small hole between 8 and 12 centimeters deep, the swarm will pile the dirt on top of it. SCP-3018 instances will adorn these dirt piles with 1 to 3 flowers before trying to find another pine cone. This behavior begins at sunrise, about 7 o'clock, and ends around noon, around 12 o'clock. Alban C event takes place on June 21st. All swarms of SCP-3018 will gather around a single tree in the forest and begin to devour it. At an indeterminate time in the process, all SCP-3018 instances will transition to picking all the leaves off of the tree and arranging them into an ornate Celtic knot surrounding the tree. Once the section is done, all SCP-3018 instances will stay on the pattern of leaves while continuing to flap their wings. This creates a low hum. This event begins at noon, around 12 o'clock, and lasts for 3 to 5 hours. Finally, L-band D takes place on September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. All SCP-3018 instances remain in torpor. Approximately 25% of the SCP-3018 population died during this event. Cause of death is unknown. Afterwards, on the morning of the 22nd, swarms will gather dead SCP-3018 instances and place them within the tree from the previous L-band C event. The event begins at torpor on the 20th at about 20 o'clock and ends in the morning on the 22nd at about 10 o'clock. While the origins of SCP-3018 are unknown, an event that happened on December 19, 1998 gave us some hints about the past of the anomaly. This event started when personnel on leave within the enclosure noticed an unusual behavior displayed by SCP-3018. A large group of SCP-3018 was entering torpor in a circle around a noticeable lump in the ground instead of on the carved trees. Further investigation yielded a small domed roof made of limestone. GPR, ground-penetrating radar, revealed a cylindrical structure 4.5 meters long, 4.5 meters wide, and 6 meters tall, along with 5 human skeletons. An excavation began January 2, 1999, which unearthed the false structure. It appeared to be a shrine with a roof held by 4 pillars and a basin on a pedestal in the middle. The bottom of the basin was carved with a Celtic knot and was heavily discolored from heating and dried human blood. Each pillar had a sconce containing a candle, and smoke stains suggest that 3 of the 4 candles had been lit. The 5 human skeletons were found to be adult females with silver rings on their fingers. 4 of the bodies were found with arrowheads near or inside their skeletons. 2 of the skulls suffered heavy impact trauma. The 5th body was positioned by the shrine's basin, accompanied by a sacrificial dagger, dusted with a translucent green material. The skeleton showed 5 broken ribs and damage done to the orbital bones, likely from a blade. SCP-3018 now hold L-band A events exclusively on the basin within the shrine and will enter torpor on it at night. SCP-3018 will regularly collect around the figure at the base of the shrine and adorn it with flowers. So, seems like something happened many years ago in a small Celtic shrine in a place that will later become southern France. Maybe a human sacrifice involving enucleation was interrupted by some neighbor tribe, or druids made a fatal mistake during the ritual, who knows. Years passed by and the shrine was long forgotten, but something about the place later manifested as beetles that still participate in rituals and carve distant memories of the art of their Celtic ancestors. Maybe even these 2 events are not connected, and the beetles are just beetles dwelling in and affected by a sacred area. Nevertheless, sometimes even the Foundation leaves things just the way they are.